Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the AEW Dynamite post show for Wednesday, March 31st. Tonight on the show, Kris Statlander and Trent return, Christian Cage debuts, and Kenny and the Good Brothers versus Moxley and the Young Bucks next week. Yo, what's up? I'm Dave. Welcome, everybody, to the show. Welcome to my buddies, Big Johnny North, Big Glen McKenzie, a.k.a. Porno Glen. What's up, Porno Glen?
Well, why is he Porno Glen?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, John.
Okay.
I'll invite you one of these days. You come to one of the parties.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. That was a good thing with jiu-jitsu. The only good thing about all the injuries is my fingers have been broken into the perfect position.
That is disgusting. Let's not go there. That is gross.
Yeah, but I'm telling you.
It's gross for so many different reasons, Glenn. I don't even want to get into it. We're going to talk about AEW Dynamite tonight and not any of your extracurricular activities. But, Johnny, I think you do need to hang out with Glenn a little bit more in your off time because Glenn's like living some sort of, life of a pro wrestler somehow. I don't know what's going on. You're living that pro wrestler life, and you're not even a pro wrestler.
I'm a pro jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing. I guess maybe it's similar. Glenn, we'll talk about jiu-jitsu later on. I want to talk to you about Jon Moxley pulling off a choke in AEW on Dark Elevation that they called a rear naked choke. That was nowhere near a rear naked choke. He did do a rear naked choke. They called it a
rear naked sleeper.
Is that what they called it tonight? A rear naked sleeper. Yes. Oh, okay.
Rear naked sleeper.
I want to give a shout out to the members. Craig Paquette, I see you. Angelo Contagonis. Shout out to the members. Become a member of the team. Don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. You know the drill. You know to subscribe, right? You know. If you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? If you haven't become a member, what are you waiting for? If you haven't gone to donate.ringsidereport.net, what are you waiting for? If you haven't got yourself some cool merch with our faces on it, what are you waiting for? Whoa. Go to merch.ringsidereport.net. Shout out to Doug Hepburn. He's a member. He's on the chat. What's up, Doug? Become a member. Hit us up on Super Chat. Support the team. Support the show. And if you want to call in, check this out. New technology, boys. New technology. If you want to call in to the show, you can. You just have to join our Discord. You go to call.ringsidereport.net. If you want to be on the show, if you want to call in, you could call in and talk to us. And this is new, starting tonight on all the Ringside Report Network shows. So tomorrow night on Ringside Report MMA, on Friday night on Wrestling Uncensored after SmackDown, on our WrestleMania post shows, you'll be able to call in and give us your thoughts, not only on the chat, but you will be able to call and actually talk to us kind of like a phone thing, except it's, through the internet, through Discord. But you go to call.ringsidereport.net and you could call and talk to us now live, which is pretty cool technology. We're always improving, Glenn, you understand as a jiu-jitsu man, you got to always be improving. Even if you've reached black belt level, there's always room for improvement. You're always room to get to that next level. You're trying to reach that red belt status one day, right? What do they call it? Coral? What is it?
No. Red is the
red,
final.
Right?
Now they got now they got a coral white. Then you go, coral white? You got black white. Then you go coral, which is the black red. And then you get the red. But I did the math. I would be 98 years old by the time I actually get presented that. So I'll be long gone.
You'll get there. You'll be around at 98 still doing jiu-jitsu because doing jiu-jitsu keeps you young forever, Glenn. Don't worry about it.
The chlamydia is going to get me first for sure.
Oh, well, that's, yeah. I mean, of course.
That's too bad.
Johnny North will live forever. Johnny North, your hair's looking like John Morrison hair tonight. What's going on with the hair?
I was going to say, it looks fantastic.
We're getting questions on the chat. Doug Hepburn says, better hair, Johnny or Glenn? I mean, Glenn has kind of got the mushroom cut from 96, and Johnny's got the John Morrison do.
Anyway, these are
the old John Morrison do, because John Morrison, he looks like his wife now, right? So it's not the way John Morrison is now.
He does have the Taya Valkyrie hairdo now, John Morrison, right? And I, of course, I'm going with
Right.
the old school GSP. Not current GSP, old school GSP, original, OG style. We're not here to talk about any of that nonsense. We're here to talk about AEW Dynamite and what happened on the show tonight. Guys, I want to start off at the top. Christian Cage versus Frankie Kazarian in what I thought was the match of the night. I thought this was the best match in the ring that we saw all night. As far as in the ring, wrestling matches, Glen's mad. That's good. I'm happy that he's mad. But I think Christian versus Frankie was the best match that we saw tonight. Now, we could talk about all the other in-ring things that happened. I wouldn't really call a lot of these things matches. I don't know what you'd call the QT Marshall, Cody Rhodes thing that didn't really have a bell finish. I don't know what you would call the Miro Arcade, Anarchy, Orange Cassidy, Kris Statlander Fiesta shit. I don't know what you call that. I wouldn't call it a wrestling match per se. I guess we had a couple wrestling matches on the show tonight. Bunny and Nyla against Ty and Shida. We had Kenny and the Good Brothers against the Lucha Brothers and the Laredo Kid, which was pretty good. But I don't know. I'm old school. I like a good old-fashioned one-on-one match between two guys wrestling. And that's what we saw with Christian and Frankie. Was it Christian's best match ever? Definitely not. Did he look? He looked a little slower than he did in his last run, but that's to be expected because we haven't seen him really wrestle a singles match in, 4 or 5 years now? But that was my match of the night tonight. Glenn, you didn't like it? You didn't like the opener?
It's not that I didn't like. I love Christian, by the way. I'm a huge fan of Christian, but I mean that was Kazarian carrying him the entire way, which is to be expected. I'm personally not a huge fan of Kazarian, but I mean it's a good matchup to kind of get him going, and you can beat him and nobody really cares, right? So it's not going to cause a big thing. But I don't know, match of the night. I mean, it was pretty slow. There was no real good spots. There was about 3 botches, I think, throughout it that I picked up on. I don't know what to tell you. I thought it was one of the worst matches of the night. It was kind of boring to me. I mean, other than, seeing Christian in the ring again, which is great. But other than that, it wasn't,
I like
Kazarian carried the whole thing.
I like the Spanish fly from Kazarian on Christian, and Christian's got to work with him to make that move happen. That was pretty impressive that Christian could still take that at this point in his career. The frog splash, I don't know, it looked botched to you. It looked pretty nice to me. John, what did you think? Yeah. The Spanish fly?
Christian didn't.
Well, it looked a little rough. It wasn't exactly perfect, but I feel like Kazarian, he's never actually hit it. He's never actually hit it perfectly. I mean, I feel like it's almost always like that because he usually does it with bigger guys. Christian's a bit bigger of a guy, so he's just not used to doing that kind of move all the time. He doesn't usually do that move a lot, so I think that's why it came out the way it did. Yeah, also kind of sweaty too. I don't know if you guys realize it's really warm in Florida now.
Yeah, and they're sweating a lot, and they're wrestling, and they can slip a little bit, but for what it was, I thought they pulled it off really nicely. I liked the frog splash off the top from Christian. I thought he got nice elevation. It was a good near fall. Thought, maybe they were going to end the match there. They teased the kill switch. Frankie reverses it. They hit the quick kill switch for the finish. I liked it. It was a solid first outing for Christian. They gave him a nice amount of time. John, what was your match of the night?
Well, if we're talking for a wrestling match, this would be it. But the main event was a fun brawl, though. I'll give that credit, and also give credit to the 6-man tag. I mean, if you look at it in terms of Lucha Libre, that delivered in terms of that, great high flying action back and forth. So you really had a wide variety of wrestling tonight. The opener was kind of simple. And, if you've seen the last couple of weeks of Dynamite where it's, fast-paced action, Kenny Omega, Seidel kind of match, you would be kind of disappointed because it wasn't that kind of match where it's you see everything within the first, 10 minutes kind of thing. This kind of just build up to a match. I mean, if you like a slow match, I think this worked. And, I think for us, the nostalgia factor of Christian, we haven't seen him in years wrestle a match. I think just that alone, just to see him again, you kind of like it already just for that. The fact that he can still pull off moves. And he may seem a bit slow, but you can understand that with the ring rust. I think people, for the most part, are just happy to see Christian wrestling again, and the fact that he came back from an injury you thought he'd never come back from. I thought it was just great to see Christian pull off what he did in that match, and like it was pretty long too. I feel like that was easily the longest match of the show.
Yeah, that was the wrestling match for old school wrestling fans like ourselves, right? We like that kind of meat and potatoes, old school wrestling. And Glenn, I think you're becoming one of these new school AEW fans. You like the flips and the car crashes, right? If Johnny,
I've been watching since '75.
I know, I understand, but I feel like you like some of this new school AEW stuff a little bit more than some of the ground-based stuff and the old school wrestling like Christian and Frankie brought us tonight, telling a nice little story there. What was your match of the night, though? What was your favorite match tonight? I agree with John, by the way. I think all the matches were good. I thought the six-man was really good, Lucha Libre stuff. The main event was a fun, hardcore match, brawl with a lot of shit going on. But I can't call that the match of the night because I don't really see that as a wrestling match. Bret Hart never did any of that stuff, so I can't really qualify it in that type of way, So I would say, my match of the night, it's got to be Christian and Frankie. They opened the show with it. I thought it was really solid professional wrestling. What was your favorite match tonight, Glenn?
The Lucha Bros, man. Lucha Bros and Kenny Omega. That was pretty spectacular. That little move, I think it was it Ray Phoenix? Where he runs across the ropes. Like, it was so quick. He clipped him with a knee. It was incredible. Like, it was just the pace that they do. They start off kind of slow and all of a sudden it just explodes. And it's kind of like, it's a little bit typical where they kind of did that one move. But then all of a sudden, man, these things that they pull off. I found the last time with the Lucha Bros, they were doing a little too many like high spots, if that makes sense. Like, they were overdoing it, with the flips and this and that. Right. But this was really well timed, and it was incredible. And by the way, I didn't think Christian was a bad match. I just didn't think it was match of the night.
Wow,
that's my thing. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's funny,
I just don't think it was match of the night.
But that's the thing, man, and that's why it's nice to have you on. We're getting different perspectives in professional wrestling. Johnny and I agreeing. We're both big Christian marks. Doug Hepburn on the chat, he says agree. It was worth the watch to see what Christian would endure. Angela wants to know, did the Inner Circle return tonight? Yes, they did. We did see the Inner Circle tonight. Just to go back on the show, they opened with Christian and Frankie, and then we had a Darby Allin and Sting promo. It's a cinematic promo, and they're on a bridge. And Darby is talking about Matt Hardy. He says, oh, Matt Hardy, you're insecure, and your body's breaking down, and now you have to buy respect. And we don't care about your money, Matt Hardy. You're going to have to earn my respect because money doesn't mean shit to me. And he even said shit. And I was like, oh, Darby, take it easy. It's like 8:15 here, buddy. Okay?
TV 14.
He's hardcore. I know, but by God, Darby. And then they throw money off a bridge. Darby and Sting are throwing money off a bridge because they don't care for money. They care for the darkness and skateboarding and shit. I don't know. That promo was weird. Not my favorite. Darby's promos are always like, I don't know. Like the camera angles, like the cinematography is pretty good. Like, it looks cool. It looks ominous. The bridge shot of Sting throwing the money in the air, like, it was cool. But just the message behind it and the promo behind it, I'm like, oh, Darby, you're feuding with Matt Hardy now? Is that what's going on? Okay. And you don't like him because of money? You think his body's breaking down? Like, you're making fun of him for being old and decrepit. Meanwhile, Sting is your tag team partner, buddy. Like, do you not realize the company you keep? Darby's like, Matt Hardy, your body's breaking down. You ain't shit. You're old as fuck. And Sting's like, excuse me, Darby. Pardon me, sir. I'm your partner.
Let's throw some money. We're going to throw a little bit of money off the bridge.
Yeah. Darby's like, hey, Sting, can I borrow some money? Sting's like, no. I'm still spending Dixie's Carter's money from 2005, all right? Spending that Dixie money.
That was brutal.
All day. That fucking promo sucked. That was weird. I didn't like it. And, like, Darby versus Matt Hardy, though, that's a match I want to see. Again, Darby in the ring, I'm all in. I love Darby in the ring. He's excellent. Darby on the mic, I don't know. Not too good. Johnny, did you like this promo? You like the dark, ominous shit?
I like that they just found a good way to use Sting and Darby Allin, where it's not the same thing over and over again. Just come to the ring, do a promo, get interrupted. This time they changed it up a little bit, and it was kind of short and to the point, which is better this way. Like, you establish what Darby Allin's going to do next. You establish his beef right away, and that's all you have to do. It's quick, it's easy, it's done. Move on to the next thing, and you got it done. Like, Sting showed up, and that's it. Move on.
Yeah. After the melee last week with like Darby and the Dark Order and Matt Hardy and all those guys, I was not really clear on the fact that Matt Hardy was feuding with Darby Allin. The only thing that this promo did for me was kind of clarify what the fuck they're doing. Because every promo Matt Hardy cuts is on the Dark Order, including tonight. Including tonight's Matt Hardy promo. He cut a promo after Darby cut a promo, didn't mention Darby's name once.
Yeah, but to be fair, like, he's doing stuff for, like, the people in his family, right? So, like, he's kind of, like, cutting promos for everyone else as well, so that's why.
Yeah, I know, but, like, doesn't he want to, give a shout-out to himself? Yeah, did you see that new follower we had? What the hell was that? Do you see his username?
That's what
I know, that's what I'm laughing at.
it.
His username was
Right on
Shiny.
Johnny's head.
Yeah, the
Shiny
username
foreskin.
said Shiny Foreskin. I was like, what kind of username is that? Thanks for the follow,
And it was
Shiny
right on-
Foreskin. But, like, what kind of username?
It was right on Johnny's head.
Like,
While he was talking.
who is there?
Funny.
It's like, I need a username for Facebook. I know.
Shiny foreskin.
Why would that be your choice? Strange man.
I don't know.
How about like MJF
That's got to be one of my
fan
people.
606?
It's got to be one of my people.
Yeah, it's got to be a Glenn fan.
But they follow the right place, and that's what counts.
That's right. They come for porno Glenn.
Very true.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be
Foreskin's
surprised.
your fan, Glenn, for sure, 100%.
It probably is.
I
A
don't
few of my
even-
students tune in, so yeah.
I don't even have one, so there you go. Darby and Sting promo, and then we had a Jade Cargill promos. Oh, Jade Cargill. She talks about Red Velvet, and then she starts talking about how impressive she looks, and she's like, Jade, you keep running that treadmill and talking that shit, and 2 promos in a row, their wrestlers are saying shit. 2 straight promos, they say shit, right? And then Jade's like,
TV14.
yeah, I know. Jade's like, I am that woman. I am that bitch. And she keeps saying that. That is her catchphrase. I am that
It's a t-shirt.
bitch. Is there a t-shirt?
If it's not, it should be.
Oh, could you buy it for me, John, please?
Not
Come
going to
on.
happen.
Oh, please. I wear a shirt. Imagine I come on the show wearing a shirt that says, I am that bitch.
I'll get you one for next week. Done
Yeah,
deal.
I'll wear it. If it has
deal.
Jade Cargill on it, I'll wear it for the show. That shit would be hilarious. Ah, Jade Cargill. And then we get the QT thing, which, I'm struggling to give a fuck about QT. I did learn
Stuff
one thing in
happened.
this. Yeah, stuff happened, but, like, are we supposed to care about this stuff? I did learn that AEW has an Olympic bronze medalist boxer wrestling for them, Anthony Ogogo. They said, like, hey, the bronze medalist, Olympic bronze medal, the boxer. They said his name maybe once. They're like, Anthony Ogogo. And I'm like, that can't be his name. And it was. Anthony Ogogo. He won it for, England. I think he's English. And he won a bronze medal in like 2012 or something. He really did win a bronze medal in the Olympics for boxing. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. I don't know if he can wrestle. The move that he gave to Cody was a punch, and it was stupid looking. But anyways,
A little liver shot.
that punch
The
sucked.
gut, yeah.
He's got a hole. He can't, he's got to pull his punches. He can't really hit him if he is a bronze medalist boxer and he throws a real punch to Cody's ribs, like, he could break a rib, right? I mean, that's a guy who knows how to throw a punch. I mean, and a lot of these guys, when they go into pro wrestling and they're like, yeah, because he's not that far removed from being a boxer, being in the boxing world. So when they come into pro wrestling and it's like, yeah, throw a punch, it's like, no, not like a real punch. And it takes some of those guys longer to learn how to pull their punches because they're so used to throwing real punches. You know what I mean? They have to unlearn those bad habits. So that might happen with Anthony Ogogo. Anyways, so it's the Cody Rhodes QT Marshall match. Is it Marshall or Marshall? I still haven't figured it out.
Marshall.
I've heard it said both ways, so.
All right. QT. QT doesn't get an entrance for the match, which the announcers do talk about. They're like, oh, JR's like, I'd feel disrespected if I was QT. He didn't get an entrance for the match. We come back from commercial. QT's in the ring. Arn Anderson is in the ring. Cody has the most elaborate entrance in AEW. All the pyro for the show is for Cody. And then he's got Dustin Rhodes and Billy Gunn with him. And Arn Anderson is the referee, but is still clapping for Cody when he's doing his entrance. So, like, not very unbiased refereeing there from Arn. You notice that Cody goes to the second rope to, like, do his pose. Arn's in the ring with the ref shirt on, like, Cody, yeah. So that happened. And then the whole Nightmare family is ringside. And then there's some other Nightmare Factory people because QT trains people at his school that he runs with Glacier from WCW. That's for real. And Cody's like part of it. So the trainees were ringside. QT, the match ends where Cody is just kind of, he's handling QT. QT's getting frustrated. They kind of punch each other a couple of times. QT's getting mad. Cody tosses QT out of the ring, and then he sits on the ropes to let QT back in the ring. Cody's being a little disrespectful. He's not taking it seriously. He's not treating QT like an opponent. He's treating him like a guy he knows he can just beat like a jabroni. Right? He's treating him like a jabroni in the match, and QT can't do anything about it, and you can see why QT's getting frustrated. So QT gets mad, punches Arn Anderson in the face out of nowhere. Arn bumps. The whole Nightmare family storms the ring. QT leaves the ring, and then he looks like he's regretted what he's done. But then Aaron Solo, Nick Comoroto, and Anthony Ogogo attack Cody's team of Lee Johnson, Dustin Rhodes, Billy Gunn, I think some of Billy Gunn's kids, Cody. Comoroto powerbomb Lee Johnson out of the ring onto the stage, which was pretty awesome. That powerbomb was sweet. QT slammed Arn's arm on the barricade. Arn's arm on the barricade. You get that? And Dustin was bleeding somehow. I don't know why he was bleeding. He was just like bloody. You go to Dustin, it's like you're all over the ring. You go to Dustin, and he's like a bloody mess, and we're not sure why. And then QT gives him a pile driver on the ring steps that are set up on the stage. And then Ogogo punches Cody in the gut. It looks awful. It's like, that's your move? That's what you do? The shit punch? And then they're going to hit Cody with a steel chair on the steps, but Red Velvet comes out to save Cody because Brandy can't do it because she's too pregnant. So Red Velvet comes
the best
out.
Part of the match.
And it was like, what? Why? I guess Red Velvet really likes Cody, and she's like, stop, QT, you asshole. Stop doing this. And then for some reason, QT's like, okay. And then his team leaves. So QT has NWO Wolfpacked himself from the Rhodes Nightmare family, right? He has now broken off from this gigantic NWO-esque group, Cody being the Hogan. I guess Billy Gunn would be Nash and Hall, shittiest replacements for Nash and Hall, at least for this era. I mean, they're good wrestlers, but it's 2021. And, yeah, so QT has his own group now. They've splintered off. A group that no one gave a shit about has now splintered off into a sideshow group that people give less of a shit about. I am telling you these guys' names. No one knows who these people are. Glenn, do you know who Nick Comoroto is? Do you know which one he was?
The big dude.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. You've been doing this show with us for like too long now. Yeah, that was a good guess. But like, we don't know these guys. They have a guy in the group called Anthony Ogogo. I had to look him up because I didn't know his name. They have this group that's a spin-off from a group you already don't care about. For a feud that no one cares about. Is anybody really invested in Cody, Dustin, Billy Gunn, and Lee Johnson versus QT Marshall, Nick Camarado, Anthony Ogogo, and Aaron Solo? I mean, that's not a Dynamite feud. That's an AEW Dark or Dark Elevation feud. Get that the fuck off Dynamite. That is some low-level jabroni bullshit. Aaron Solo? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. No. Garbage. John, do you care about this? Are you excited about the big fucking payoff match between these two fucking groups that no one cares about? Do you care? You watch Dark?
Well, it's not so much. Yeah, I watch Dark. It's not so much about, like one group against the other group. It's more this, QT finally had to break off from the Nightmare family because, like, in the past, like, he kind of screwed over Dustin in that Battle Royal in the pay-per-view, and they kind of just, moved on from that. And that was kind of ridiculous because, like, he spat in Dustin's face.
Yeah.
So, like, there needed to be some sort of repercussions for that. The fact that they just, said, no, it's fine, whatever, and moved on, like, no, that doesn't work. Like, QT, like, there has to be some comeuppance here, and finally, like, him breaking away, we're finally going to get that comeuppance. Like, he had to go this far, finally, for them to realize that QT is a jerk, and they're going to have to take him out now, finally. Hopefully, it won't just be, like, a group versus group thing. Like, the big match that they should be pushing for is Dustin versus QT, actually. Former partners against each other.
Yeah. But unfortunately, Cody's the only guy in this whole thing that anybody cares about. Right? And Cody's already proven that QT is nothing to him. He can beat him easily. Right? So, what's the payoff here? I don't see what the payoff is whatsoever. I don't see why they started this, why they're doing this. It's crazy to me. I was shocked that they were like, oh, let's do a fucking group, a spin-off from this shitty group. Like, you do spin-offs. Let me explain to you what a spin-off is. You remember the show Cheers? Okay, guys? Remember the show Cheers? Very successful TV show. Okay? Very successful TV show. And they're like, oh, the show's over. It's run its course. We've had a nice run with the show Cheers. Ted Danson has done a wonderful job. Let's move on and end the show Cheers. And then Kelsey Grammer was like, hang on a minute. How about you do a show about me? And then they did Frasier, and it was very successful. But most spinoffs are not successful. Most spinoffs, suck. Give me you remember the movie Speed? They did Speed 2. Not very successful, okay? A lot of spinoffs fail. And you only do a spinoff.
It's not a spinoff.
Okay, you're right. Well, give me. I'm trying to come up with a fucking spinoff. That was.
Okay, here you go.
Sheldon.
Help me.
There was Friends, and then there was Joey.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
So there you go. But Friends was a successful show. But even the spinoff of Friends did not work. Cheers was a successful show. Their spinoff somehow worked. And that's why that's the only spinoff I could think of, because it's the most successful one probably in the history of TV. I mean, no, there's probably others like way back, like the Honeymooners or something, but I don't know that shit. So forget
the Honeymooners.
I don't know what that shit is. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not that old. I don't know these things.
What happened here?
What? I don't watch that old. Not that
I thought
old.
You don't watch old television.
I don't.
He's got deja vu.
I'm just like making. I'm just making references to shows that I've heard of that I know are old. That's basically what I'm doing there. I know the Honeymooners was an old show, and I think there were spin-offs of that.
On the Honeymooners.
No? What about I Love Lucy?
They made the
Wasn't there
Flintstones.
or was it Mary Tyler Moore? Didn't she have a spin-off show that was like successful? There are always shows like that. All right, I don't know these shows. I wasn't born back then. I'm not that old. We need AJ to come on to be a resident old guy to tell us what
I'm older
shows
than
we're on.
AJ.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
I'm 45.
Yeah,
you don't know I'm older than him.
You don't know how old AJ is.
How old is he?
He's several years older than you.
No, is he pushing 50?
He's in his 50s.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah,
Really?
see, this is the great thing about AJ. He lies to everybody about his age for years. For years. I thought AJ was 43 until I realized, wait a second, he's been 43 the whole time I knew him. I never, like, he'd had birthdays and stuff, and he'd always tell me he's 43, and I never questioned it. I was just like, oh, yeah, 43, sure, whatever. I don't care how old you are. And then I was like, wait a second. And then his girlfriend's like, hey, I want to invite you to his 50th birthday party. And I was like, 50? He's 50? I didn't know he was 50. And then Fred and I had this big conference call. We're like, do you believe AJ's 50? He's like, yeah, I thought he was 43. Crazy.
That makes sense, though.
He lies to everybody.
I can tell you, that makes sense because we had a tournament a long time ago in Boston, and obviously we were on different teams. But like, I think I was doing Masters 2, which was like 35 to 40. So I had about 4 fights to gold. You know what I mean? So I had a decent division. He had 1 fight.
Oh yeah.
And it didn't make any sense because we're kind of in this. I think he's a little heavier than me. I have no idea. But anyways, like, I was like, why does he only have 1 fight? So he must have been in Masters 4 or 5 at that time. It makes sense. And the guy he beat looked old as fuck.
Was that where he won a world championship?
Come on now. No. Well, he won a gold medal. He beat that. He beat the Alzheimer's division or whatever you want to call it. But there you go. I mean, hey, more power to him. I mean, good for Goomba, man.
AJ claims to be a world champion.
2 times.
In what? Maybe
know.
in bocce.
Maybe
in bocce, not in jiu-jitsu.
Maybe
it could
kung
be
fu,
maybe
I
in
don't know.
baby foot or something.
We're not sure.
Yeah,
We're not sure.
Wushu.
Wow. Whoa. If AJ's hearing this, there's going to be big talk tomorrow night on the show.
I challenged him to don't you remember we challenged him to a match like 19 times? He ducks me like crazy.
He ducks me too. And he shouldn't. I mean,
he should.
You, I understand ducking me. Like, he should not be ducking me. I'm always challenging him to roll, and he never wants to. I don't know why.
Well, that's AJ, man. He's a world champion. You got to work your way up.
Well, that's it. I'm unranked, and he is a world champion. So
You're unranked.
I'm totally unranked. I'm like really unranked. Doug Hepburn says, "Happy Days spun Joni Loves Chachi."
Oh, that's true.
And Mary Tyler Moore had 2 spinoffs, Phyllis and Rhoda. And then All in the Family, Bob Cote says, followed by The Jeffersons. I mean, that's a pretty big spinoff, right? I've heard of both of those shows. I've even seen episodes of All in the Family and enjoyed them. I thought that show was funny. I mean, the guy was crazy racist, but maybe that's why I liked it. I was like, I can't believe that guy's saying that shit. So crazy. That show was nuts. You ever see that show?
Archie
It's
Bunker?
Crazy. Yeah.
Wasn't that Archie Bunker?
Yeah. That guy was
the
wild,
best.
man.
It was, yeah.
Oh, my God. I
You
remember
could
I
say
saw
The
that show.
Simpsons.
Huh?
The Simpsons was like Futurama was like a spinoff of the Simpsons in a sense. You could say that somewhat.
You could say that The Simpsons was a spin-off of the Tracy Ullman Show, which is where they first appeared as a cartoon short.
Yeah, you could say that too. But I don't know. It's more of them just carrying on in a sense.
Mic drop.
Yeah, show's over.
That's right.
Oh.
Simpsons knowledge over. Oh, shit. Anyway, so the spin-off of the Nightmare Family is fucking stupid. The Nightmare... Just call them the Nightmare Wolf Pack. Just do it. Just a Nightmare Wolf Pack order. The NWO.
Well, maybe they're just creating factions for like the inner circle to like mop up with or something. I don't know. It seems like they're creating 5 group factions all over the place. And so, because who are they going to beat up? They can't beat each other up forever.
Teams are good. Like, fight sports, in real fight sports, there are teams. Guys compete individually, but there are teams, and there are people that you kind of associate with, right? Why not do that in pro wrestling? New Japan does it. I just think that if you're going to have a team, you have to have one person on the team that people give a shit about. And they don't have that. Like, Cody's team has that. They have Cody. QT's team has QT.
Well, they have that big guy. He did a good move. He did like kind
no
of
one
like
knows
that
his
border
name.
toss power bomb.
He looks like a fucking mini Rusev. Get out of here with that shit. Put Miro next to Nick Camarado, and it's over for Nick Camarado, okay? Nick Camarado looks good next to the fucking small guys like Lee Johnson. Put him next to fucking Miro and see what he looks like. I bet that
Reminds
he
me
looks
of a
like
Berserker.
nothing. Yeah,
Remember
but
the
like
Berserker?
a small Berserker.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, a
he
little
looks big in AEW,
Yeah.
but he's not that big. Right, John? Like, how big is Nick Comoroto really? Maybe 6'2"? Maybe? 6'2", 240 maybe?
240 is still not small, though, especially for like people in like wrestling nowadays. Like, he's actually decent.
Yeah, but for pro wrestling as a whole, it's like he looks like a big guy in AEW, but he's not a big guy. Like, Miro is a legit big guy. You know, they have legit big guys. Comoroto is not a legit big guy, and he is not a star. What group in AEW exists without a single star? MJF is in the Pinnacle. Jericho is in his group. Cody's in his group. Kenny's in his group. The Bucks have their thing going on, you know? Every group has a legitimate star. This group is a jabroni group. It's AEW's first jabroni group. Is there anybody else that's a jabroni
I think some
group?
Some people would argue about the Dark Order. Like, who's the top star there?
Johnny Hungy. I mean, they had one with Brody Lee. You know, Brody was there.
Now he is.
Yeah.
John Silver's out for like how long? 2 months? Like, they don't have anyone now. If you
4 to 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
Not so bad. Did you see Being the Elite
Still
this
long
week?
enough.
Did you see BTE this week? They were going to cut off Five's arm to give it to Johnny Hungy because Johnny hurt his arm. So they're going to cut off his arm. And Johnny walks into the room, and they've got the saw, and they're like the whole Dark Order's ready to like cut off his arm. and then Johnny walks in, and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" He's like, "I don't want his arm. Look at it; it's all small and nothing compared to my arm. You know what I do want? I want his little Peter!" And then he's like, "Johnny Hungy!" And then they lift him up, and then they saw off his penis, and then a shrimp falls down. And that
Johnny looks so angry right now. Yeah.
I know. I said that just to piss Johnny off. Like, I knew that just talking about that would upset him. But yes, Johnny Hungy was like, no, don't cut his arm. I want you guys to cut off his penis. So then they like cut off Five's penis. And he said, "Johnny Hungy!" Like he was going to eat it. Like, I don't know. It was crazy. I thought it was funny as fuck, but I could see John did not think it was too funny.
Sounds
I can't
terrible.
watch that either.
Don't ever do it, Glenn.
Oh, it's good
Save your
stuff.
life.
It's really good.
He sent me like a 30-minute clip to watch the greatest. I watched like 2 minutes and had to turn it off. He sent me 30 minutes. I tried. Like, I'm like, can't you just show me the little clip? He sent me like this 30 minutes of that. And I was like, okay, I got to go take a bath now or something. Like, it was all right. But I mean, that's good you enjoy
Wash
it.
your eyes out.
Yeah.
Glenn watches Johnny Hungy. I send him a best of Johnny Hungy on BTE.
You should.
And he's like, "Well, I'm gonna take off all my clothes and watch this." That's the first inclination
That's right.
for you. Getting real excited about Johnny Hungy.
Oil up.
Yeah, because you see his biceps, you get a little intimidated. You know, he's got huge arms. That guy.
It's all about the chest. He has a great chest.
He's got a great chest, great arms. He looks fantastic.
Yeah, upper body. It's what it's all about. Grapplers.
It's an upper body business, brother. Forget about the legs. Yeah. Who cares? Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Oh, shit. So these guys, you thought AEW was going to do something with them, maybe, you know, turn them into singles stars or something. I thought Scorpio was still feuding with Darby Allin after beating the shit out of them after, you know, he had the match with Darby. He loses, and then he fucking attacks him. You figure, oh, Scorpio's mad at Darby. But no. Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky are doing a promo where they're finishing each other's sentences, and then we pull out, and you realize they're sitting right next to each other, and they're tired of not getting the opportunities in AEW, even though Ethan Page like just showed up in AEW, and they're going to become a tag team. Scorpio Sky leaves SCU to start a mini singles run that goes nowhere, only to join a new tag team. Ethan Page leaves his very, very successful tag team, The North, in Impact Wrestling to join AEW to form a shitty tag team with Scorpio Sky. Why? Who wanted to see these motherfuckers team up? I mean, first of all, I don't really care to see either of these guys at all. I'm not, like, blown away by either of them in AEW. They haven't done anything that's shocked and amazed me. But as a tag team, like, wah. Boring. John, why?
Well, I think they just had nothing for them pretty much. So it's like, well, we have nothing for these guys. Let's put them together and see what can happen with that pretty much. I mean, tag teams kind of make everything go in AEW in a sense. Like if you're not in a tag team, you're kind of nowheresville. So put them in a tag team. At least they'll probably get showcased more because pretty much every show there's like most matches are tag matches. So they have a better chance being shown that way.
I don't like it. I don't care for that tag team. Put them on Dark Elevation or whatever. I saw Dark Elevation.
They hyped they were going to be on Elevation.
Yeah, whatever. Exactly. Perfect. Yeah. The Jobber Show. I started watching that show, John. Did you watch it this week? It's like over 2 hours long. And when I went to click on it on YouTube, they were like, over 2 hours of wrestling. And I was like, ugh, that's not how you advertise a show. That sounds like way too much. Don't give me like a show that's super long, full of wrestling matches that I don't want to see. I watched Moxley's match, and that was weird. It ended with a bulldog choke, but what's his name? Shivani called it a rear naked choke. I'll show you a picture.
Oh, he called it a rear naked sleeper.
Well, that was
sleeper.
tonight, but on Dark Elevation.
Oh, sorry.
Here, Glenn, you can see that. There is.
Oh, it's a bulldog.
That's
it's
a bulldog choke.
Bulldog
yeah,
choke.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a bulldog choke.
Yeah.
Was it Matt Hughes choked out somebody with that, didn't he?
Yeah, it's a legit move, man. The bully choke.
Wasn't
or the bulldog, whatever you want to call it.
It was the Canadian guy there, the first Canadian champion in the UFC. What the fuck was
Carlos
his name?
Newton?
Yes. Hughes choked out Newton to win the title with a bulldog choke. Way back, didn't he?
Yeah. I don't remember, man. I can barely remember last week.
He slammed him. I thought there was a bulldog choke somewhere in Matt Hughes' career. Maybe I'm thinking about something else. No, he slammed him to knock him out. That's how he...
That's Frank Trigg.
Beat Carlos Newton. No, he slammed Carlos Newton, too. The Carlos Newton thing was they were both kind of knocked out, and then Hughes wakes up.
Yeah, you're
Remember,
right.
Hughes
you're right.
wakes up.
Yeah.
And he's like,
yeah.
Oh shit! I guess I'm champion because he woke up first. That was crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. That's right.
It was like a double knockout, and he woke up and he was the UFC champion by knocking out Carlos.
They were standing. I think he jumped with a slam or something like that, and that's what KO'd him. It's I remember that.
Maybe it wasn't Matt Hughes. Maybe it was his guy there, Militich, that used a bulldog choke to choke somebody out. I don't know. Bulldog chokes you don't see very often in the UFC. Last time I saw one was Robbie Lawler on Ben Askren, right? Not that long ago. That was kind of controversial, too. Askren thought he was fine. He didn't tap. Anyways. So, Moxley, Elevation. He worked Elevation this week. Did a bulldog choke on some dude. John, did you watch the whole show, Elevation?
No, I didn't watch the whole show this week.
Okay. You watched Dark?
No, I didn't even watch Dark. I watched Power this week.
Power? What's Power? Oh, NWA Power?
Yeah.
Was it good?
I enjoyed it. I mean, some parts could have been better, but I like the idea of the show. Like the whole studio setup kind of thing. I think that's kind of cool. They have a actual audience as well, so that helps a lot. I just love the format. I think for old school wrestling, it's pretty good. The wrestling could have been better, though, unfortunately.
Yeah. I heard Ring of Honor had a kick-ass pay-per-view last week. So, there's that. You see any of that? I heard good things, but I didn't see it.
That was on Friday when we were doing SmackDown.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear about it? Was it good?
I heard about it, but you hear about Ring of Honor all the time. Yeah. Just, never see it.
Red Velvet is being interviewed backstage about QT and everything that just went down, and then Jade Cargill attacked her, tossed her into a road case, and again she says, "I'm that bitch!" Okay? Right? She can't show up without talking about that. Moxley does a backstage promo about the Good Brothers, how they broke Eddie Kingston's ankle, and he's not happy about it. And now he says, Cesar Bononi, he's got a lot of potential, big guy, unless I kill him tonight on Dynamite. And I was like, what? You're going to kill a man on Dynamite tonight? Seems kind of rude. Anyways, Moxley beat Bononi with a rear naked choke. Bononi choked out. He technical submission. That match was not my favorite. Probably my least favorite of the night, right? That kind of sucked. I don't need to see Cesar Bononi. And I barely need to see Jon Moxley, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Moxley at all, man.
Yeah.
Never was.
And
Even in WWE, I wasn't.
Is he getting in worse shape by the week? What's happening with him? Is he getting fatter? What's going on?
I don't know, but Miro is kind of getting me a little bit worried. Sorry, go on, John.
You thought Miro looked fat?
Miro
was fat?
Well, I don't know what's going on. He's got like a little bit of a post-pregnancy kind of skin belly thing going on down there. You'll notice.
He's always had that.
Really?
Yeah, it's
maybe because he's not as
he
thick.
Was fat, that's why.
There you go. He's not as thick as he used to be, so that's probably he's leaning down a bit. I guess
he's a lot leaner than he used to be. That's true. He was like when he came in as Rusev, he was really thick. But Moxley does look a little chunky, but that does happen when your wife is pregnant. The men tend to get fat too. I got fat. A lot of guys I notice when they are like when their wives are pregnant, they get fat. It's a thing that happens. It's happened to a lot of guys I know. Snacks. It happened to me. Like I gain weight for some reason. The key is fucking losing it when the baby comes. That's the key. And for some of us, it's easier because when the baby comes, you don't really have time to eat, so the pounds just kind of fly right off because newborns are challenging or sleep, but that doesn't really affect
baby bulimia, they call it. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That happens to you, so it all balances out. So I'm sure Moxley will be skinny as fuck as soon as Renee pops that baby out. Team Taz does a backstage promo. Ricky Starks talking about feeling good, teaming up together on Dark. Taz says everything's good with Team Taz. Brian Cage doesn't seem happy. He's like, oh, we teamed up on Dark, but we would have won sooner if you would have tagged me in sooner. And Taz is like, everything's fine. So they seem to be feuding with each other, right? Ricky Starks and Brian Cage are just teasing this feud that will happen. Like, Brian Cage turned his back on Team Taz like 3 weeks ago. Why the fuck are we still on this? Like, it's over.
Oh, he didn't.
Oh, come on, man. I mean, every promo they do, Brian Cage is like, I don't want to be here. I don't fucking like it. I really love Sting. And Ricky Starks is like, come on, Brian, let's be friends. And Taz is like, everything's fine. Don't look here. Don't ignore Brian Cage. And Cage is like, no. I don't fucking like being in Team Taz. So eventually it's like he's going to leave. Just fucking do it already. Why are we teasing something? It's like we're building towards something that no one cares about. Brian Cage turns on Team Taz and what? He's a babyface now and he feuds with Ricky Starks? Doesn't do anything. Again,
what's going on with Ricky Starks, though?
Like they break things up that no one cares about. They break up the Nightmare family to do a feud no one wants to see. They're breaking up Team Taz. They're barely a group. Ricky Starks and Brian Cage, do we need to see them feud? They're breaking people up too early. MJF was with the Inner Circle for like a month. They're not letting these things breathe. I don't like it.
Yeah. Why is Ricky Starks' character getting more and more feminine each week? What's going on with that? Is he changing it up a bit, or did you notice that? I'm the only one who noticed that, or
I didn't notice anything.
Oh, trust me, watch
I didn't notice.
It's very well. I'm just saying it's getting more and more feminine as he goes on. I don't know what to tell you. He's got his legs crossed. He's doing this thing, like he's sitting like this, like he's like with his little hands, you know, like it's noticeably getting more and more feminine. I don't know why.
Well, maybe he's letting his true self come out. Possibly, you know, maybe he's getting more comfortable.
Perhaps
with,
I don't know
who he is. I don't know if he. No, I think he's heterosexual. I believe he has a wife of some.
Johnny, is he hetero?
Sort.
I'm not sure, but the mannerisms, he could be doing that on purpose, right? Because like
he's
you're
Southern,
noticing that,
he?
right?
You know, as Southern guys,
he's doing it on purpose for sure. He's overselling it big time. Like right. I've noticed it where he's doing it on purpose for sure.
Yeah, it's subtle for now, but it's something maybe that they're building towards. It's just that's not the main focus right now, right? The main focus is the tension with Brian Cage, but he's having a little bit of character development, but it's a subtle thing right now for the main part until eventually they can really focus on it.
Yeah.
He's from Austin. He's from Louisiana. Guys from Louisiana, you know, the accent can be deceiving, and it's a different vibe.
Oh no, it was the
Louisiana.
body mannerisms.
Yeah, but southern gentlemen can often be confused. Like, the southern gentleman can tend to seem a little bit effeminate, but it's just like a southern kind of friendly.
Well, maybe
way.
that's where they're going with him. Who knows?
I don't know what's going on. I didn't notice anything.
Very
anyways.
trim,
I like
very
Ricky
proper.
Starks. I think he's fantastic, effeminate or not. I think he's a brilliant wrestler. I think the character, I didn't notice anything, but hey. That's why Glen's on the show, to notice the things that we don't. MJF talks to the Pinnacle in their locker room, okay? MJF got the Pinnacle a personal stylist. Very exciting stuff. And he wants to redecorate their locker room. He opens the door to the bathroom and finds Jericho standing there with Sammy Guevara and Proud and Powerful. MJF, like a cartoon character, shuts the door on them and then says, "We need to leave. Let's get out of here, guys." Goes to the exit door. Jake Hager's standing there blocking the door, punches MJF, and the fight is on. Inner Circle and Pinnacle brawl all over the kind of backstage area in the locker room. Sammy Guevara, they all kind of splinter off, right? So everybody's going to have a little story, and they're each going to do a thing to the member of the Pinnacle that they have paired off with, right? So Sammy Guevara pairs off with Shawn Spears, and he, throws him, and then he smashes his head into a door, but not really, because, you can see the door. It looks like it's one of those heavy doors that doesn't even slam. You know, one of those doors that you, try to push, but because of the way it's designed or whatever, it doesn't slam, just kind of closes slowly. And I think that's the kind of door they had, because he closes it, and it looks to, slowly start, it doesn't even slam, and then they cut... They cut to inside the room where they are, and then, Spears' head is down, and he's all, hurt. But
did you notice the sparklers? There were sparklers lying next to his head.
Really? Why?
Yeah, there was a pack of sparklers. It just said sparklers. I thought it was really weird that it was just hanging there for no reason.
Yeah.
Just a pack of sparklers.
It did not look good. That head into the door thing was not great. Hager slammed Wardlow through a massage table. That looked a little bit better. I like that. Cash got tossed into an ice bath, which, cold, I guess, but not that painful. Cold and wet. And it's Florida, so maybe refreshing, really. Santana then broke a wood chair, and he had, a piece of wood, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to stab you with this." And he goes to stab Dax, but Dax is already bleeding profusely from something. This is the second time on the show that somebody is bleeding profusely, and we have no idea why. First it was Dustin, now it's Dax. And Dax gets kind of hit with a piece of wood. And then we see Jericho and MJF, and Jericho's dumping MJF's head into a toilet bowl. And then he tosses him through a Pepsi fridge glass door. And Jericho says, "This is our locker room, bitch." And then they drag MJF out of the locker room, take the sticky Pinnacle logo off, and replace it with their logo that's also sticky that they have for some reason at the ready after this brawl. Where'd the logo come from? Jericho just had it in his pocket. This is a plan, guys. We're going to beat them up, and then we're going to take over our locker room, and we're going to make sure we have that sticky logo. We need the sticky logo so everybody knows. It's not Pinnacle's locker room. It's Inner Circle now. Somebody get an Inner Circle logo for the door. Where'd they get the logo? Anyways, it was fine. It was fine. A couple of the things were not great. The ice bath, okay. Dax already bleeding. What happened to Dax? Did I miss something, Sean? What happened?
Well, if you notice, Ortiz's tank top was already bleeding before they even cut to there. So something happened, but you didn't see it. And they mentioned on commentary that they couldn't keep up to date with all the action. So much was happening that you couldn't see everything. So that explained that.
It was a tape show, though. It wasn't live tonight.
Doesn't mean they got on camera, though.
If a guy is bleeding that bad, couldn't you get it on camera? How did they miss that? How did they miss that? It's not good.
So much action. There's action happening in 3-4 different places at once.
But it's taped. They could They could
Yeah,
easily...
but if it's never recorded...
No, but I'm saying, why didn't they plan it out properly so they could catch all the spots on camera? They have all the time in the world to do this segment. They can't plan it out so they actually catch where Dax gets busted open? Or did they intend to miss it? Because he didn't really get busted open, and they just wanted the blood for effect. Right? I think they intended to miss it. Because they had nothing else. They had nothing. They didn't miss it because, the action's so fast and furious. They fucking intended to miss it because Dax wasn't really bloody.
Right, but in the story, they missed it because of that. Yeah, well, that's what this is. This is a story. They're telling a story.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be helpful to tell the story of Dax getting injured if we actually saw Dax get injured?
It wasn't necessary. It just tell you that he got hurt. Things were happening. No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was, John.
It was not.
I liked it.
You liked it?
I know you don't. I liked it. Yeah, I love the lead shit. I love a lead. Not a lead. What the fuck am I talking?
Inner Circle.
Yeah, no, whatever. Inner Circle. There we go.
Yeah.
It's late.
Angelo loved the segment. Mako was like really mad about it. He doesn't like how they put MJF into the toilet. They think that they ruined MJF. I don't think so. I think MJF
we spit out the toilet water.
Yeah, it was toilet water, whatever. What'd you say, John?
I think I'm frozen.
Oh.
Somewhat back, sort of.
What's going on with you, John? You all right?
I thought he was doing the
I'm
robot.
all right, but my camera's freezing.
Oh. You all right? You still with us, John?
I can still hear you. I don't know if you can see me that well.
No, I can see you. You're fine. MJF.
Oh, you're moving good, man.
Yeah, you're fine. I think you just froze out. Just a bit of a glitch. MJF, he comes back from this, right? This wasn't so bad. Jericho gives him the beating. You need back and forth. After the beating that Pinnacle gave Inner Circle a couple weeks ago, I think you needed Inner Circle to come back and get a beating on MJF and his team. I thought that was totally fine. What the hell was that?
Was it?
I think it was my remote control. It fell off my
my God,
my little armchair over here. Sorry about that.
Something's crashing. I was like, "Are you all right? Is everything cool?"
It's Johnny. He fell.
Yeah, I mean the execution of it, I thought was like okay. Could have been better, but it was fine. But I felt that the point of it, which was give the Inner Circle some over back on this group, yeah, for sure. Because I think down the road, when they do have the match, Pinnacle should probably win because they're the newer, less established group. MJF is the newer, less established star compared to Jericho. I think Pinnacle probably wins the big match when they have it. But in the meantime, Inner Circle's going to have to get some over. They're going to have to look good. Otherwise, why are you having the match if Pinnacle just beat the shit out of Inner Circle never comes back, never gets revenge, and then Pinnacle has a match and beats them again? Like, I don't know about that. So I think that the point was well done tonight. It was fine.
Are they even, though? Hold on a second.
Go ahead.
Are they?
I think so.
Are they evened up? Doesn't I think the Inner Circle has like one extra member?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
No, they're even.
Because
Pinnacle is 5 guys, right? Pinnacle is MJF, FTR, Wardlow, and Sean Spears. Wardlow counts. He's a wrestler, right?
No,
so
Wardlow counts for sure. But...
Yeah, Wardlow. So that's 5 guys, right? And then Inner Circle is 5 guys too. Jericho, Proud and Powerful, Sammy Guevara, and Jake Hager. It's 5-on-5. Works perfect. They have Tully. Tully is the guy confusing everything because Tully is like with Pinnacle. Yeah. He's like the 6th man in Pinnacle, but he's just the manager, right? So it's
he should have got chucked in the bathtub.
That would have been funny.
That would have been great.
Yeah, but a guy like that, like he could get hypothermia and he could die. Like that. Like he's 67. He's pretty old though. You know what I mean? Like he could get pneumonia if you toss.
Yeah, but he's an AJ 67. You know what I mean? He's a tough guy.
AJ's not 67 now. Let's take it easy.
No, but he's an AJ 67. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like a world champion level.
AJ's 75 years old. He's much older than you thought he was. I told you he was in his 50s. He's actually 85.
It's all those hats.
That's right.
Lights.
Well, that's it. Without the hat, like you can tell, like he looks more like he looks more his age without the hat on, but you never see him with the hat on, so you can't tell. Looks like a kid.
Yeah.
Young Bucks are interviewed backstage about Kenny Omega. Matt Jackson doesn't want to talk about it. Don Callis shows up, and he tells Nick Jackson, go off here. The grown-ups are talking. Go be a rock star or something because I got to talk to your brother. So Don tells Matt Jackson that he loves Kenny, and he thought that Matt loved him too. Don tells Matt that he broke Kenny's heart last week. Don says Kenny chose to go to AEW to leave his life in Japan, not go to big money in WWE, not because he wanted to be a big star in AEW, but because he chose the Young Bucks, his friends. Don tells Matt that he left Kenny beaten and bloodied by himself last week, and Kenny's heart is broken. Don says Matt has no explanation. Matt's just standing there, by the way, when Don's saying this. Matt's just going to go count his money, and then Don slaps Matt Jackson. Matt Jackson grabs him by the jacket, but then lets go and does nothing. And Don is like, that's it? That's all you got? That's all you're going to do? There really is nothing left inside of you at all. You make me sick, Matt Jackson. And walks away. And then Excalibur makes sure to let us know that Matt Jackson is the babyface still because he says, Don Callis living up to his reputation as human garbage. Right? So Excalibur on commentary pipes in after the promo just to, because it did seem like Don Callis was saying, hey, you're pretty mean to your friend Kenny Omega who loves you so much. You broke his heart. You didn't help him last week when he got beat up. And if you're just watching the promo, you think, oh, is Matt Jackson the heel here? But Excalibur kind of had to pipe in and let you know, no. Kenny and Don, they are the heels in this confusing story. But interesting, Don Callis telling Nick Jackson to leave because Matt is really the brains of the operation. And Nick was like, okay, I'll leave. Interesting. But I like it. I like this thing with the Young Bucks. They're going through something. There's some sort of evolution of their characters happening right now, and it's interesting. I'm in for the ride. Even the Young Bucks bald buddy there, what's his name, Brandon Cutler, on BTE this week. He was cutting a promo on them saying, what happened to you guys? You used to have an edge. You used to care. You used to want to win, and now you're just kind of happy, content, rich. Sitting on your asses. You're no longer hungry like you used to be. And that seems to be the story with the Bucks. They're not who they used to be. They're not hungry. And they're just happy counting their money. I thought that promo from Don Callis was excellent. Don Callis, he's like a Paul Heyman. This guy goes in there and he is very good on the microphone. He could turn a promo that's, not that much into gold. I thought Don's promo tonight was excellent. Johnny?
Yeah, Don's great. Don's one of the best talkers they have. They should always use him. There's no question about that. I'm just not that interested in the Young Bucks storyline. Like, you find it's interesting. I don't find it that interesting at all. Like, you say they're getting lazy. They're the tag champs. Like, they're the best if you think about it, right? Like, they're the ones to beat. Why do people have to worry about, like, oh, they've lost their edge or anything? Like, they're already the top tag team. What more do they have to add whatsoever? Like, and the fact is, we've already seen this promo. They did this promo like 2 weeks ago already. So I feel like they're just repeating things, and the Bucks aren't really doing anything else. They're just like, they take the beating in terms of the words, and then they just do nothing afterwards.
Well, I think what Don is saying is that they used to be more willing to do heelish things, and now they're just such kind of bland babyface characters, they don't really do anything. There was a time when the Young Bucks would have joined in with Kenny and beat up a bunch of people, but now they just don't want to do it because they have to be corporate, they have to be the vice presidents of AEW and all of that stuff, right? I like it. I think it's a good story. The Young Bucks have changed. They've gone corporate. They're so concerned with being executive vice presidents that they're not too concerned with being the best goddamn tag team in the world. Even though, John, to your point, they are the tag team champions. It does seem like they may have lost an edge, right? Kenny and the Good Brothers beat the Lucha Brothers and the Laredo Kid. Fun match. Kenny got the pinfall on Laredo after the one-winged angel. Moxley shows up after the match. The Young Bucks come out too behind Jon Moxley, and they go to the ring, and Kenny and the Good Brothers get out, and they get mad. And now we have the match set next week on Dynamite. The Good Brothers and Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks and Jon Moxley. That's a main event. That's a big money main event for next week's AEW show. Like, that's a match they could almost put on a pay-per-view. Like, that's a pretty big, high-profile, big stars, you know? That's a big match right there. Former champion versus the current champion, the Good Brothers with Kenny against the Bucks and Moxley. The Bucks and Moxley teaming together for the first time. That's a hell of a main event for next week's AEW. I like it. Guys, thoughts? Glenn, what do you think, man? You like that main event?
Yeah, no,
next
it's
week?
good. I'm just not a fan of Moxley, man. I don't know what to tell you. He puts me to sleep all the time. Like, it's not... Even his interviews, I've never really understood why everybody loves him so much, but that's okay. It's not... I'm sure it's going to be a great match with the Bucks and everybody else, but what's Moxley going to do?
Yeah, I have not.
I can't get hype over.
I have not been a huge Jon Moxley fan either, and you know, I was even less of a fan when he was Dean Ambrose. I really didn't like Dean Ambrose. Like,
yeah,
I would shit on Dean Ambrose on a weekly basis about how terrible he was. And I think Jon Moxley is a much better version of that, but I still don't think that he is one of the top wrestlers in the world today. You know, I think he's serviceable for AEW right now. He fills the role that they need, but I don't think he's in my top 10 of pro wrestlers in 2021. But hey, he is who he is. He is a big star, and people do seem to like him, just not us. Britt Baker and Rebel are backstage. Rebel interviews Britt about AEW Dark Elevation, and Britt talks about Thunder Rosa being on the show and the biggest win of her life not counting because it was unsanctioned. So Britt and Thunder are still feuding, and Britt lost, but she doesn't care about that because the match didn't technically count. Whatever. Britt's still not wrestling.
It's the same thing as last week. She's just it's kind of like parlayed it to this week. Yeah,
it was just like, hey, let's put Britt on TV for a couple minutes, okay? Yeah. Matt Hardy, Private Party, Butcher, Blade, and Vicky Guerrero all ringside for the Bunny and Nyla tag team match. The Bunny and Nyla Rose beat Ty Conti and Hikaru Shida. Bunny hit Conti with a kendo stick while Vicky distracted the ref, then hit her move called, according to Excalibur, down the bunny hole for the 1, 2, 3.
The little elbow thing there. It was horrible.
That's the move of that's the bunny's finishing move. Down the bunny hole. Okay. I think the Butcher has gone, or the Blade has gone down the bunny hole. No, aren't they? Anyways, moving on.
Somebody has.
Anyways, I think it's isn't she with Blade? Aren't they a couple?
She's married to the Blade, yeah.
There you go. Thank you. I mean, I don't put it
go.
so crudely, but I mean, down the bunny hole.
So it's not crude; it's factual.
I mean, no, it's not factual because I don't think that's what she calls the bunny hole. But let's just say it sounds like just when Excalibur's like, oh, she hits down the bunny hole, and I was like, her name is the Bunny, and she has a move called down the bunny hole. Like, it sounds a little sexual, does it not? Glenn, you're porno, Glenn. Doesn't that sound like a porno title?
Well, it's from Alice in Wonderland. I mean,
Butcher and the Blade go down the bunny hole. You know, it sounds creepy. Anyways.
Yeah. I'll give him a call with my Glenn's Only site. We'll figure it out.
Okay, so John, what'd you think of that match? I mean, whatever. Yeah.
I thought Nyla Rose looked good when she was in there. She wasn't in there that too long, though. I thought Shida took a good beating, but they rushed way too quick to get to Conti, for the hot tag. And, she had a decent comeback, but again, kind of short. It felt like the parts that they shouldn't have rushed, they rushed, and the parts that they didn't rush, maybe they should have made a bit tighter, actually. Parts of that match, like it seemed it was okay, but then parts were kind of dragged out. Like it was all right, just not great of a match.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite match for sure on Dynamite tonight. I'm seeing people on the chat really upset with how, I mean, not just Mako, I think Bob Cote too. People really didn't like how the Pinnacle group was kind of buried tonight. They feel that they were buried. I didn't feel that they were buried in the beatdown. I thought it was just kind of a stop on the way to the match. If they win the match, I mean, are they really buried? Did they kill the heat for this feud? I didn't think so. John? Still good, no?
Well, again, this goes back to when like MJF got thrown into the pool. I remember I complained about that too. It's like, MJF was just kind of starting out then, and then you had like the Young Bucks, I think someone else, like super kick him into the pool. It kind of just embarrassed him, made him look bad. But in the end, I believe he won the pay-per-view match. So it kind of neglected everything that happened. So like, it's kind of like this all over again, where it's like, yeah, they build up MJF, gave him the group. They took one like beat down pretty much. And now obviously there's going to be some sort of confrontation eventually. But I think they're probably going to win the confrontation because this is their first big rivalry, so I expect them to win. So, yeah, everyone has their ups and downs. I mean, if it's one-sided, it's actually no fun.
That's it. I think this was just the time for the Inner Circle to get a little bit of over. MJF, as long as he wins the matches, as long as he comes out on top, he remains intact. He could get beat up, every once in a while, but it doesn't really count for anything. So I think him coming forward and getting the win with the Pinnacle over the Inner Circle, that'll be the big victory for MJF. That'll be really big for him and his whole crew. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't think it was such a big deal. Some people are upset with MJF and how the team was treated tonight. MJF, he just keeps winning. Do you think it's weird that MJF very rarely wrestles on TV? Like, MJF is not in the ring very much. Like, I get that, and I think there's probably a reason for that. I think the theory with MJF is he's great on the mic. If we're going to put him on TV, put him on the mic. But he wrestles so infrequently on TV. I'd like him to wrestle a little bit more just so that people could be reminded that he is a wrestler and he does win matches. He's like a dominant wrestler because he's pretty good in the ring, and he just so rarely wrestles. Like last week, I felt like there was an opportunity for him to wrestle. There was a 6-man from his group, right? It was his group. What was it last week? It was FTR and Sean Spears against like 3 guys, right? Was it Griff? Who was it last week?
Yeah.
The opponents. Griff, Pillman, and somebody?
Yeah, random whoever, yeah.
Yeah, I forget. Who cares? But, so that happened last week, right? But, like, in that spot, shouldn't MJF be teaming up with FTR instead of Sean Spears? Like, it's their first match as a group. He's clearly the leader of the group. Why isn't MJF in the ring to get the squash match done with FTR? Why was it Sean Spears? I find it odd that MJF wrestles so rarely on their TV show when he is one of their biggest stars. And if you look at the big stars in AEW, I think he wrestles the least of like the names that they've made or are established already, like the stars in AEW. Jericho wrestles on TV more than MJF. The Bucks seem to wrestle every week. Kenny wrestles all the time. Moxley wrestles all the time. Miro wrestled tonight. Like, he seems to wrestle pretty often. All their stars, Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin. Like, MJF and Sting wrestle the same amount of times. And MJF's like 24 and Sting is like 78. It's weird. Why doesn't MJF wrestle, Johnny? Tell me the wrestling reason why. I mean, obviously because he's best on promos, but once in a while he should be in the ring. Shouldn't he have been in the Sean Spears spot last week with FTR instead?
No, I think Sean Spears needed it more because he needed to be established more because you haven't seen him on TV that much at all because he disappeared for like half a year almost, it seemed like. So they kind of need to reestablish Sean Spears that he's an actual legitimate threat in that group. So that's why you give it to him over MJF, who's already been established. I mean, if he's not the top heel, he's definitely like top 3 heels in the company. And I think him not wrestling is a bigger deal when he does wrestle because he doesn't wrestle that much.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand making it a big deal by doing it infrequently. But at the same time, I think that it would help him if he wrestled just a little bit more. Every once in a while. Maybe every, once a month. But I don't think it's that, right? He doesn't even wrestle once a month.
Well, you saw this show, though. It's tough, though, because it's only a 2-hour show. I mean, they try to cram in so much as they possibly can, but when you make these big groups,
come on,
it's kind of difficult to get everyone to wrestle.
The Lucha Brothers wrestle every week. MJF can't have one match. Ty
When's
Conti,
the last time Pac wrestled?
How many Ty Conti matches? Well, Pac's hurt.
He's also not in the country, too. That also hurts him as well.
Well, he's injured and out of the country, so, what do you expect from Pac? But I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about MJF. He doesn't wrestle very often. And even Pac, who's had injuries, who lives in England, has still wrestled more on TV in 2021 than MJF. Right?
Well, because he hadn't wrestled most of 2020, so yeah, of course.
So, why is Ty Conti wrestling on TV more than MJF? Most people on the show,
push her.
Everybody in MJF's
she hadn't
group,
wrestled much before.
Tully Blanchard wrestles more on TV than MJF.
No, he doesn't. He wrestled one match. It's not true.
More recently, the MJF, right? Tully's last match. Tully has had a match on Dynamite more recently than MJF has.
Okay.
Well, maybe he's nursing an injury or something. You never know.
I think he's scared to wrestle.
No, he's just so good on the mic. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, fuck. Yeah, he's like Enzo Amore. You don't really need him to wrestle. He's just really, really good on the mic. So why wouldn't you put him in that spot instead of taking away from somebody else? They really like to build up guys. I noticed in AEW, they love to give guys chances. That's why you're seeing the Rhodes. They give people shots. You know what I mean? They're trying to kind of stay away from the WWE formula. You have to be hot, you have to be on top to get your TV time. So they're trying to be a little bit of the opposite. So you run out of time for these top guys to get the little guys in there, So, and again, like Johnny was saying, Spears hasn't been around forever. I mean, I think I saw him wrestle once since he was the perfect 10 in it might have been NXT. I don't know if it was on the main roster. I think he went back to NXT at one point. But you got to build the guys up. So seems what their formula is right now.
I don't want to watch Sean Spears or his wife wrestle. I'm not interested. All right.
I liked him as the perfect 10.
I don't think Sean Spears. I don't think Sean Spears could beat Asuka either. How about that, Peyton Royce?
Oh,
Sean Spears is married to Peyton Royce, Glenn. You know that? How about that?
I had no idea, man. I didn't I don't follow their love lives.
Well, that's all I follow. That's all I care
It's not important.
It's very important. Very important, guys. Jurassic Express. See, you talk about, give everybody a chance. Let the little guys do promos. Well, then you have to watch Jurassic Express talk. And I get that they're trying to make Jungle Boy into a star, and he's handsome, I think. People like him. Ladies are into Jungle Boy. Apparently, people are really into Jungle Boy. The word is he's handsome.
Where have you heard?
I don't know.
Where are you hearing this word?
I'm hearing the word from the AEW wrestlers that I've heard interviewed. Apparently, Jungle Boy is loved by all the ladies. Everybody thinks he's handsome.
Wait.
He's Luke Perry's son too, and he's kind of got that face going.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know what I mean. He's got some things going for him, Jungle Boy. I don't see it, but I don't like dudes, so I don't really know. It's people say a dude is handsome, and I'm like, yeah, I guess. I don't know. He's got a face. Okay. But people like Jungle Boy.
Face.
Yeah, there's a face to him. I suppose that's a nice one.
He's got a nose.
I mean, I'm an easy. I'm just saying I have an easier time judging if I think a woman is attractive or not with a man. I'm not attracted to men, so it's hard for me to judge. I guess Jungle Boy's a handsome dude.
You okay there, Dave? I thought you were coming out or something for a second here, Dave. It's all right. What's going on here? You're overcompensating a little bit here, buddy. What's happening?
I'm trying to explain to you that Jungle Boy has the rep for being handsome, and that's why I think part of the reason why they're pushing him. I'm just telling you, that he's got the rep for being handsome. I'm not necessarily telling you that I think he's handsome. I'm more of a Rusev man, to be honest. But hey, you know, some people like.
I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
People
now.
like
I'm gonna get you a nice
a
Jungle Boy poster.
No, get me a sexy Rusev poster. Look at that guy. I like him a little thicker. I like the thicker dudes. You know, big, thick Bulgarians.
A little bit of a loose skin around the belly.
I'm into
like that
big,
loose skin on the
thick
belly.
Bulgarians. I'm not into like the skinny, like nice shape. I like a Fedor build, baby. You look like Fedor. That's handsome to me. Okay, Rusev's got that Fedor like kind of thickness to him. That's what a man is supposed to look like, my friend. Anyways, what the fuck?
Johnny's looking a little uncomfortable right now. Johnny just took the biggest inhale.
Yeah.
Jurassic Express. That's what you're talking about. Try to get it back on track here.
Okay, so Jungle Boy, they're talking about Bear Country. And Bear Country, if you don't know, they're two bears. You know, they're two guys. They're kind of husky gay men, and they're a tag team. They're bears. I think that's their
They're
gimmick.
not gay.
How do you know?
They haven't pushed that whatsoever. So.
Why are they called Bear Country? They both look like bears. I'm pretty sure they're
because
gay.
they have like bear masks.
No, they're gay. They're bears because they're bears.
What do you mean they're gay? What are you
They're
talking
gay.
about?
They're bears. Are they not? I thought the gimmick was because AEW has like a lot of different, you know, gimmicks. They got Sunny Kiss. They got Nyla Rose. They're open-minded. I thought Bear Country because they're called bear and they're like they look like, you know, bears, which like a bear is like a how do you define a bear there, Porno Glenn? It's like a man, like a husky gay man, right? Like kind of
that's a manly gay man, yes,
like
with the beard and
like a hairy chest. They look like lumberjacks
sometimes.
Wear leather. They don't always wear leather. Sometimes they wear lumberjack.
Well, no,
like
I'm just saying when you're at a bear party, you got to have some straps.
Well, I've never been to one of those parties. Like Vito in The Sopranos. That's different. That's leather.
Yes.
That's different, though. The leather and bears are different. I think they can intersect. I don't know the Venn diagram of the leather and bears in the community. I'm not, I don't know about these things.
We're going to have to figure this out. We're going to have to Google this later.
But I do know that a bear is like a husky gay man, and these guys are Bear Country, and they both look pretty husky, so I just assumed that they were gay. I'm going to just keep assuming that they are, because I think I like them more as a tag team if they are. Because if they're just two dudes called Bear Country and they're just like husky, it's like, yeah, all right. But if they're like two bears, you know, that are like, we're Bear Country, it's like, yeah, you're proud. It's like, it's different. You know what I mean? I've seen two husky guys be a tag team before. You go to any indie show, you can see two husky guys teaming up, okay? You never see two bears being like, we're wrestlers and we are gay. You know, I think that would be fun. You know, they're like into Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt. Like, that would be a perfect gimmick. Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy, two cute little guys, Bear Country going after them. I'm alone on this.
Johnny is like,
right
no, Johnny never goes with me on these adventures. That's okay.
So many deep
space in this one.
I'm trying to salvage this promo that they did because the promo was the drizzling shits. Don't let Jungle Boy talk. Don't let me talk, I guess.
It reminded me of the heavy machinery kind of not War Machine, but
they wish.
That whole heavy machinery look, you know?
They wish. Otis is like twice the size of these guys.
Oh, no, for sure. But it seems like they're going down that kind of original.
Yeah. They're like a shitty Viking Raiders.
War Machine.
Yeah.
They call them the Viking Raiders.
Whatever. They're like a shit version of Eric and Ivar. Right?
Yeah.
Where are those guys? Was it fucking Ivar's hurt, right? He's been hurt for a while. I miss that guy. That guy is a beast. Beast. These guys, you know, they're all right. Bear Country. But that promo that Jungle Boy did, not too good, baby.
That was horrible.
No, but he's young, though. Like, he's only like 23. So, you know, give him time. Like, that's what they try with these guys. Just give him a chance. Like, it's fine if he's not good now. I mean, let's see how he is in 10 years.
All right. I mean, I hope you're right. I really do. Because he should pick it up, and that's why they're giving him time. That's why they're giving him time to practice. In the ring, I think he's really good. I think he does have a hell of a future. Just needs to put a little bit of size on him, you know, a little bit more muscle, and that'll come with time. When he hits his 30s, he'll be a little thicker, a little bigger. And the promos, hopefully they come. But, John, you've seen guys cut promos for years, and sometimes people just never, ever get it. Sometimes they do. We'll see with Jungle Boy, right? Sometimes people get tons of promo time. Look, I see Seth Rollins talk all the fucking time, and he's terrible still. He gets tons of TV time, and he can't cut a promo for shit. So don't tell me all it takes is time. I see motherfuckers get tons of time, and they still suck.
And they could possibly suck for the rest of their lives. It's very possible, but you have to give them the chance. If they don't get the chance, they're definitely not going to improve whatsoever. Now, the huge problem with Seth Rollins, we're getting completely off topic here, but Seth Rollins, they tell him how to act. So that's the huge problem there. They feed him a character which doesn't really work for him, but they have to do it anyways.
Oh, so bad. Oh, it's so bad right now, Seth Rollins. So bad. We'll talk about it on Friday, though, John, after we watch SmackDown. Oh, my God. Bob Cote wants to know how I know all this stuff about bears. I mean, I just know it. How do you not know it? It's just like common knowledge, I thought,
the old TSN station was in the gay village there.
Yeah, that's right. I used to work in the gay village, and I have gay friends that tell me things. Sometimes they tell me more than I want to know, quite frankly. But good God almighty, I find it interesting because it's a whole culture that I'm not involved in. And it's a serious culture. There's a lot going on in the gay community. So
one of my friends is the king of the gays, man. He's on Netflix on Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
There you go. Tony. See, we're all allies on the show. We're all heterosexual men. I think. I mean, Glenn and I know. John, I'm pretty sure. John, we don't ask questions about John. We don't ask questions about John. But we're all.
He's got fantastic hair today, though. With that hair, I don't know, man. I'm telling you, man, it's a very nice. He is a beautiful man. It's
I'm fully heterosexual, but you're a beautiful man. I'm just saying. All right.
Yeah, you say a lot of things, Dave. Sadly,
I do say a lot of things. You've said some weird shit too in the past, John. All right, don't make me bring stuff up from the past in front of Glenn. All right, I don't want to tell Glenn what you've said.
I've heard it all. You can say whatever you want in front of me, man. I'm good.
You don't want to hear this. It's going to go into a weird way, and Johnny,
this isn't weird enough. Like,
all right, let's get to the main event. There's a prizes carnival wall with weapons on it. It's time for the Arcade Anarchy. Miro and Kip versus Chuck and Orange. Miro hit Orange with a whack-a-mole mallet. Chuck took a suplex on the barricade. Chuck jumped off a Mortal Kombat machine. Orange hit Miro with a trash can lid in the head. In the head! Several times. I thought we weren't doing headshots anymore, Johnny. I guess not with a chair.
About? I don't remember AEW ever signing that. I think chair shots maybe, but even then, every once in a while you'll see a shot to the head. They never said there was a ban on that. That was the WWE thing. This is not a all wrestling thing. There's pile drivers here.
Yeah, I thought AEW wasn't doing shots to the head with weapons, but I guess they are. Several shots. It wasn't an accident there with Orange and the trash can lid. They piled up a bunch of broken furniture on Miro for a near fall to kind of get the pin, but Kip made the save from out of nowhere. I don't know. I kind of spaced out at the beginning. Where'd Kip go? Why was it 2-on-1 for so long? What happened to Kip? Did he take a big bump that I missed?
Yeah, he got slammed into the whack-a-mole.
Yeah, whatever. He was down for way too long.
He went through the styrofoam, and that just KO'd him.
Yeah.
For a long time.
He was just gone for so long. He was gone for so long, and I was at the point where I didn't see the bump. I was doing something else, but I had noticed Miro's by himself for a really long time here. Where the fuck is Kip? And I was like, whatever happened there, Kip must have died because he must have taken a terrible bump for him to be gone for so long. Whatever bump he took, he oversold it. Because Miro was by himself for most of that match. Did they?
They just said in the Miro, they buried Miro, and then it was Kip for a while by himself. So
yeah,
it worked both ways.
Chuck opens a teddy bear full of Lego pieces and sets them up in the ring, but of course he takes the powerbomb on them. I like the Lego being brought out. That's always fun. Orange had the match won, but then Penelope pulled Aubrey out of the ring. Aubrey's the ref. Penelope is in Kip's corner, of course. And then she kicked Orange in the balls, did Penelope. And Penelope takes her belt off to whip Orange Cassidy, but Kris Statlander, the alien, bursts out of the crane game that they had to attack Penelope, and then she does this crazy driver thing through an air hockey table off the apron, which was the bump of the match. Like, at that point, that was the coolest thing that had happened in the match. That was pretty fucking awesome. Statlander coming back, I was happy about. I like Kris Statlander.
Yeah.
I was really happy with her when she was wrestling in AEW. I was a fan. I thought she was starting to gain real momentum. I like the alien character, kind of. I think it's, unique at least. But I think in the ring, she's really solid, getting better. And then she got hurt. She's been hurt for a long time. I was quite happy to see Statlander come back and look really good with that crazy driver through the air hockey table. John, do you care to see Kris Statlander back? What do you think?
Well, I think she's a good wrestler. Promo-wise, I'd never want to see her talk ever again, but that's fine. You don't need to always have people that talk all the time. Like, let her do her thing, and that's it. Like, the best thing that she does is in the ring. Like, she's one of the best workers, and they need that in AEW, especially for the female division. So,
yes,
this is actually good for AEW.
I liked it. Glenn, you happy to see Statlander back? Do you care?
No, absolutely. No, she's a great wrestler. They need her.
Nice.
I mean, she was kind of being groomed. She wasn't the champ, but it looked like she was going on the run for that.
Yeah.
For a while.
Sort of.
Like they were building her up big time. Yeah. But no, they need her by far. She's a great wrestler. Powerful, strong, great moves.
Yeah.
You're right about on the mic. She's horrible, but you don't
Yeah.
need her on the mic,
Yeah, she's quite bad, and her skits on BTE that she's done while injured have also been really, really bad. So I don't know how they make her character better. Maybe you don't have her talk and she just wrestles. That could work because she's
an alien.
She's
Aliens don't need to talk.
Exactly. And if they could find a way to beam her down for her entrance, that would really help. I don't know how they would do that.
Don't say
There's
that.
got to be a way.
Johnny's wearing an Owen Hart shirt. He's gonna you can't.
Oh,
from the ceiling, you
not
can't.
like that. Well, Darby did it, so why not? But just beam her down, like
Not
I
the
don't know,
same.
like have the lights cut off and like a spaceship above, and then a thing of light, and then she appear. Like she could just be standing in the darkness, but then the beam of light appears, and she's like there, and she's been dropped down from the spaceship ostensibly. I don't know. I think
Her last name isn't Rhodes.
I know, but if they gave her a better entrance, then the space alien gimmick would work a lot better. If she just comes out to the ring
the
with
Sheamus,
music,
the Sheamus entrance.
yeah, something like to that level, a little bit, some light show to kind of make her look
Or the
more
Mr. Kennedy, the Mr. Kennedy one there.
Yeah, but that's just a microphone falling down. She doesn't need
But didn't
that.
he have a spotlight at one point?
Maybe. Keep the microphone away from her.
He
though.
did.
Miro tossed Orange with like a 10-foot Beal. That was pretty sweet. Just throwing Orange around the ring. I enjoyed Orange getting tossed around by Miro. Miro's so goddamn big and strong. He's pretty awesome. And then Orange and Chuck are all beat up. And who shows up, drives up to the arena? It's Trent and his mom, Sue, in the van. And he gets a kiss from his mom, and then he goes and he throws a very cheap arcade chair at Miro and attacks the guys. Spears Miro through a table. Chuck power slam Kip off the stage through a mess of tables. And that was the match. 1, 2, 3. Chuck and Orange get the win over Miro and Kip in the Arcade Anarchy. A mess of a match. A lot going on. Orange, Trent, Chuck, and Statlander all hugged and posed for the Okada camera shot after the match. My favorite moment of this whole match, though, probably at the end, when they give the thumbs up to Sue, and you see Sue in the van, and she's like all happy giving the thumbs up back. I don't know why, but that gave me a good chuckle. I thought that was really good. I thought that was funny. I don't know what it was. It was just like sweet. Like they had a nice moment. They all hugged. And then they give the thumbs up to Sue, and Sue's there, like, saluting them like she's part of the team, too. I don't know. That was fun. That was a fun moment. I thought the match was kind of a shit show, and it was, hardcore match, Arcade Anarchy, kind of what we expected. Wasn't so bad. I like the Lego stuff. I like Statlander coming back. The move she did to Penelope was the move of the match, though. That's kind of the problem, is that the whole match itself was not that great. Statlander hit the nicest move of the whole thing. But in the end, it was fine. It was fine. John, you like it?
It was a brawl. It was fun at times. There were some good moments. It wasn't anything amazing, but I wasn't offended by anything by it because you kind of understood what was going to go on in this kind of match. So, if anything, it just finally put an end to the story and we can move on from it. So, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. It was fine. It was what it was. Sue came back. Trent came back. Statlander came back. I like it. Glenn, you like it?
Well, it was okay. I actually like that they came out to the Pixies. That was pretty cool. I love that song.
Yeah.
Throwback to Fight Club over there, but that's a great song. I love it. That's heavy on my playlist. Love it.
That's a good one.
But
and that's Orange's new theme
amazing.
song, by the way. Hey, that's his song.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't know how they got
it. They paid for it.
From the Pixies. That's not easy, man. That guy doesn't like to give away his shit. The one thing I didn't get is when Mira goes to attack Sue in the van and he starts crawling on the hood, but every door was open in the van. You know what I mean? Why is he climbing up on the windshield? Then he slipped on the windshield wipers, almost ripped out the windshield. All the doors were open on the side, and Sue's like, "Oh no!" I'm like, "Fuck, Sue, close your doors. Just press the button. Do something here." So that to me was that next to the cheap arcade kind of box that they made there. They weren't real arcade units, which was kind of stupid. But and the foam that knocked out the guy for about 10 minutes. But the styrofoam when he put his head through and got whacked with the whack-a-mole mallet on his back, which KO'd him for God knows how long. But other than that, it was all right. I mean, it's it is what it is. Like you guys said, it wrapped it up. It was entertaining.
When I saw that Mortal Kombat,
insert token.
But they
Did you see that on the screen?
Yeah, that was fake. But
yeah, of course.
Arcade, they had one that was real because you saw the screen, right? It was a real one.
Must have been at the beginning.
The one that he jumped off of. And I was like, oh, shit, are they going to break that? Because that costs some money. I thought they were going to break that or go through that because that would be cool, but they didn't. That, I think, would have added a lot to the match if they would have broken through a real Mortal Kombat arcade box and you saw the screen and the parts, really kind of all over the place. That would cabinet. Be like a real cabinet. Imagine smashing through one of those. You'd be like, oh, shit. Not this cardboard shit that they have, but smash through something real where you're like, oh, fuck, somebody might have got hurt there, Might be dangerous, but I don't know. It would have added to the match. Because the match itself was not that great. Without Statlander coming out and Sue and Trent, what do we have?
Well, there was still some good moments. I don't know if you remember the moment where Miro got hit in the face. Yeah, the Lego. But also when he got hit in the face with a stool. That looked like that hurt a lot because they broke the stool's face doing that.
That stool was so cheap, though. That stool broke as soon as he lifted it up. That didn't look good at all. That stool looked like it weighed 3 pounds. That wasn't a heavy metal stool. It was plastic. That's like a cheap dollar store stool. That shit was so cheap. Break that over my head. I won't feel a thing. Those things are...
Oh, I don't know about that. That thing hit him right in the face.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man.
It might hurt a bit.
With the stool, I guess.
No, but that's a fucking plastic stool. It's not wood. If it was
Johnny
wood,
and I are going to dollar store stool. We're going to get some dollar store stools.
Bring it.
We're going to chuck them at Dave.
I'm telling you.
And we're going to see what happens.
The plastic stool, it was weak as shit. If you had a wood stool, I would have bought it. It looked light. It didn't look heavy. It didn't look like it hurt. Miro wasn't bleeding. He wasn't hurt. If something like that is heavy and it hits your face, you're cut open. He wasn't cut at all. By the way, it's a hardcore match. Nobody bled. We had 2 guys prior to the show bleed. They have the hardcore match. Nobody's bleeding.
Well, nothing.
And MJF
really
goes through glass and doesn't bleed.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, but it looked like he was starting to bleed. Actually,
We didn't see his
was kind
face.
of red though.
We didn't really see his face after he went through the Pepsi machine, did we?
No, I did. They dragged him out. They had him
Oh,
like that.
yeah,
They were dragging him out.
His
locker room.
face, it looked a little red, actually. His face.
Because it looked like he was cutting himself while he was in there. He had his hands he covered his face too when he went through.
Going through something like that, you should have some blood. But yeah, that's
1,000%.
also a good point. Maybe his blood got transferred to Dax, who is mysteriously bleeding. You know?
Well, at least there's blood on the show, unlike other shows.
What other shows are you talking about, John?
Like other wrestling shows, period. I mean, most wrestling shows, you don't see blood anymore.
Yeah, sometimes.
Because of networks, I think, though.
Sometimes. But look, why blood when you could see a man burnt alive or a zombie man come back from being burnt alive and
stop.
do shit like that?
Leave the Fiend alone.
Never.
Stop it.
Never. I would never leave that
alone.
goofy shit alone. Oh, my God.
Oh, come on. It's so good.
It's horrible.
It's better than the Dark Order. Come on.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. That's ridiculous.
That's right. Look at Johnny. What do you think, Johnny? What's more ridiculous, the Dark Order or the Fiend? Even though they fucked up the Fiend.
Well, just overall, because the Dark Order, there's been a lot of ridiculous stuff. Like, definitely them.
What? Randy has
My man.
black shit coming out of
My
his
man.
mouth on a weekly basis. Randy, so stupid this week on Raw. He goes, gee, I never thought Alexa Bliss was serious when she thought the Fiend, when she kept saying, oh, the Fiend's going to come back. I thought she was just bullshitting. And then when we set up the match at Fastlane, I had no idea it was going to be a trap. I thought I was going to wrestle Alexa Bliss. That's how stupid fucking Randy was on Raw this week. Watch my Raw recap
Randy,
to see me
I'm
talking about
the
Randy
Fiend,
being an idiot. Randy's a moron. The fucking feud is stupid.
Everybody in the chat is typing, let him in. Look, they're all
whatever.
typing
No,
down
they're
there.
not. It's so
Let me in.
stupid. It is so stupid. The Fiend is fucking awful. I don't know who's stupider. Randy for thinking that his match with Alexa wasn't going to involve the Fiend at Fastlane, or Braun Strowman for coming up with the stipulation. Shane's like, pick the stipulation for your match. Braun's like, oh, I'll show you, Shane. I'll show you I'm not stupid. I'm going to do a match where your guys can't come in and help you. A steel cage. And I'm sitting there like, there's a fucking no top to that cage, right, Braun? And there's a fucking door that you have to go through to exit the ring. You don't think Elias and Jackson Riker are going to find their way into that, you big stupid fuck? Braun Strowman is proving he's stupid on that show. God damn, that's stupid. Like, the whole story there is like, oh, Shane's a dick. He's calling Braun stupid, but Braun's not really stupid. And then Braun's like, steel cage match, you can't get into that. And it's like, oh, okay. Braun is stupid. Shane's just correct. That's what I see from this story. Shane is right, and Braun is a moron. Anyways, for more on that, we'll talk about WWE and WrestleMania. Next week is WrestleMania, by the way, so we'll preview it next week on Wrestling Uncensored.
Oh, man, right around the corner. Eh?
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Excited. 25,000 people, right?
Both nights. Yep.
They haven't sold out yet, though.
Really?
Really?
How?
They would have said it.
Would they have? Because it's not a sellout. Right?
Well,
Where's
for
John?
their capacity. They say max capacity. Yeah, they would say it.
Would they announce that they're sold out there? I don't know. How the fuck is the UFC able to sell out 15,000 in Jacksonville, packing an arena, by the way, not reduced capacity. This is packed, 2-capacity sold-out arena, and the WWE can't sell 25,000 seats for WrestleMania in an open-air stadium where everybody's going to be social distanced? How does that work?
To be fair, though, that's 2 nights, though.
So? They sell 50,000 seats. It's WrestleMania. The UFC pay-per-view is just Usman versus Masvidal, which is like, I already seen that shit. I know how that goes. Fuck out of here, Masvidal. Fucking ridiculous.
Well, if you remember last year's WrestleMania, one night's pretty good, but the other night's not that good. So I'm sure a lot of people were like, look, I'm going to wait until I see the whole card, and then I'll judge if I'm going both nights or not.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it
It
could be
just
true.
gets smart.
That's a good point. Next week on Dynamite, it'll be the Good Brothers and Kenny versus the Bucks and John Moxley. Holy shit. Darby Allin, I think he's defending the TNT title against JD Drake, who's the fat guy with Cesar Bononi. Right?
That's correct, yeah.
Who the fuck is JD Drake?
What's
He's
the
also on
JD
Dark
Drink?
with them.
Huh? He's on Dark. He's a Dark guy. He looks like Trevor. What was his fucking name with Lance Cade? Murdoch. Trevor Murdoch. Like
Not
shape
quite,
wise.
but okay.
Shape wise.
Shape-wise, sure, not face-wise.
No, not face wise. He wishes face wise. That guy had a hell of a face. Handsome, like a bulldog. The Inner Circle are returning next week to TV. Okay. They advertise that. Ty Conti will take on the Bunny 1-on-1, and Jurassic Express will take on Bear Country, Johnny's favorite tag team.
Sexy.
You know
Sexy
all
team.
about Bear Country. I don't have all the facts. Apparently, you have all the facts. So.
I'm making up facts. I don't really know that they're two bears, homosexual bears, but I'd like to think that they are. I'd like to think that they are because I think that that's a more inclusive gimmick.
Wait.
It's newer, and I think it's more fun. And as an ally to the community, I want to see the different groups represented. Like, how come we've never had a tag team of bears? I mean, we have so many times in wrestling, they just haven't been called bears, you know? What do you think?
They had the Bushwhackers. They were gay.
What do you
Weren't they?
No, I don't think so.
They were licking each other's head and stuff. And
I think they were cousins.
I don't know. I'm just joking.
We're related.
Yeah, they were just friendly.
Yeah, they were just buddies.
No, I know.
And they licked the audience members, too. I mean, we had Billy and Chuck, but that was a ruse. We've never really had a legitimately gay tag team. And even if the guys aren't really gay, why not
What about
do
the
gimmick?
Golden Lovers?
I am
Golden
dead
Lovers.
serious. Well, that was kind of like on the bubble. It wasn't really clear what they were. They were maybe gay, but maybe just friends. It wasn't ever...
I want to say Lodi and Letting Lane, but again, I don't know if that was completely all the way.
Huh. I don't really remember that at all. But I think it's good, but not as, effeminate kind of like heels, and it's like gay panic, you know what I mean? Trying to make them bad guys because they're gay. It's just like, oh, they happen to be gay, and that's part of their gimmick, It's just, we're bears. We're, but we're also
We're
big
into
and
sexy
tough.
parties.
Yeah, we're into sexy parties, and we're into whooping your ass. Bear country.
So am I. I'm into sexy parties too. You know what I mean? Like
And whooping
everybody's
ass. You'd fit in well with
and
Bear
whooping
Country.
ass.
I mean, not the
I'm
same type
joining
of
next
parties.
week.
Not the same type of parties, and you're not quite a bear. I wouldn't say you're a bear. I don't know what category.
You haven't seen me with my shirt off. Well, I'm Scottish. I don't have any hair, unfortunately.
There you
I
go.
got nothing. I'm like
I don't
like
know
a
all the
Shar-Pei
categories.
here. I got nothing here.
All right.
I'm just white.
Easy taking your shirt off.
Cream.
Me talking about bears and you taking your shirt off, people are going to get the wrong idea about this show.
Sex sells, my
Husband,
friend.
We're going to get a whole different...
Yeah, give me Ringside After Dark.
Yeah, we're going to get a whole different kind of... audience, and that's okay. We welcome you too, but you might be disappointed.
Well, we had Shiny Foreskin. Things are picking
right.
up. What was his name? Shiny
Wow.
Foreskin?
This has been an interesting show. Shiny Foreskin liked the show. We talked about bears, and Glenn started taking his shirt off. So, hey. And we debuted your new nickname,
It was more
Porno
of a pull
Glenn.
down.
Porno Glenn,
Porno
too,
Glenn.
debuted. So, it's pretty
PG. PG.
good. PG. All right, PG.
PG.
Shout out
PG.
to PG. Go to his gym, Gracie Baja, West Island. It's a good gym to do jiu-jitsu at. Go to
all
it.
right.
All right? Glenn
Look, Shiny
goes there.
Scorpio. He's back.
Oh my
Look, Shiny
God, what the
Foreskin.
hell?
He's right there.
Why did he
He's
come
right on
back?
Johnny's face.
Right in Johnny's eyes.
I don't know.
Johnny, you got shiny foreskin in your eyes.
Johnny's eyes.
I had it in my eyes. It's gone now.
Follow Johnny North on Twitter at North Genesis. Follow him on Instagram at Genesis Johnny North. You can follow me on all the things at Dave Simon MMA. Go to ringsidereport.net right now. That's our website. That's where you find all our stuff. Okay? Ringsidereport.net. You see? You see that website? That's where all our stuff is. Everything. All the videos. We were on for UFC 260. We did a watch-along. I was on Monday night after Raw. I was on tonight doing the AEW show. I'll be back on Friday night, 10 p.m. after SmackDown. I'll be back on tomorrow night, actually, 8 p.m. to talk about everything going on in the world of the UFC. Why is Dana White scared to give John Jones the title shot against Francis Ngannou? Why is Dana scared? Nate Diaz
Money.
is going to fight Leon Edwards in May, And a whole lot of shit going on in MMA. Like, there's a whole lot going on in the sport. No fights this weekend because it's Easter. Happy Easter, by the way, to all our friends celebrating this weekend. And happy Passover to all my Jew friends, all my fellow Jews repping Passover this week. Happy Pesach to you all. Okay? So I'll be back here tomorrow night, 8 p.m. to talk about MMA. AJ hit like a 6-fight parlay for UFC 260. I hit a 2-fight parlay. We're giving you winners. We're winning. We're making money for you. Ringside Report, Team Dave, let's go. Okay? We'll be back next Wednesday for the AEW post show every Wednesday. This is the team. This is how we do it. I'll be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Johnny and I, Friday night, 10 p.m. after SmackDown, the second to last SmackDown before WrestleMania. We'll see you then.